Hello, my friends. It's so good to see you. Wow, we have a few in here already, which is freaking awesome. So, Lisa, good to see you. Thank you so much for coming. Hi, Max. Sixth Sense Amelia, thank you for being here, hon. We always need at least one mod. Sometimes I have 20 mods and sometimes I have none. Bear or Doug, either which way I call you. Good to see you. Slow Motion, I know, was in here earlier on. Sweet Talking Classic, thank you for showing up. It's really, really lovely of you to be here. And I see Max has been giving out a couple of memberships already. Thank you very much, Max. And congratulations to Lisa and Sweet Talking. It worked out perfectly that you've got one. So it's good to see you guys. How are you? I seen, Doug, that you have a migraine. I'm really sorry that you've had that. That sucks. I've got a really bad mouth pain going on today. So I don't know how that will affect me when I talk too much, but it is what it is. Yay, I'm so glad to see you. Shauna, hi, good to see you. Shauna, tell me, I seen you and Dad's Gone Live last night. What did you think of that place? I think it's one of the most friendliest, coolest places to hang out in the chat. And you stuck around for a while, so that was pretty awesome. Now, you guys may know later on tonight, Jacob over on Dad's Gone Live is taking a night off with his family, and he always seems to be guilty about it. So I thought what I'd do is on my channel, I would play a restream of one of his lives, and I've checked this out with him. It has to be silent though. So what I thought we could do is play some trivia and have like a trivia night. I don't know what that entails exactly. I'm going to have to figure that out and how the rules go and all that sort of shit because I have no idea. But I thought we'd give it a shot. So I'd really like yours to come along. Hey, Steph B, thank you for being here. Yes, so it should be a good night tonight. The link for that's in the description box below, along with everything else that you need to know. So I thought, yeah, we'll give it a shot anyway. Might be a bit of fun. So today's live stream, though, is about Washington State and about sort of missing persons in that area. So we'll start to get into it and we'll just chat as we go along, right? So, of course, got to try and show you something. Let me set this up. Here we go. And I'm not always good at this, as we know. This first page is Wikipedia.org, and it has a little bit about Washington State. It is Washington, officially the state of Washington and often referred to as Washington State to distinguish it from the national capital of Washington, D.C. And it wasn't actually that long ago when I didn't know the difference, just saying a few years, you know. It is a state in the Pacific Northwest region of the western United States, named for George Washington, the first U.S. president. The state was formed from the western part of the Washington Territory, which was ceded by the British Empire in 1846. I love how you guys are friendly. It's awesome. I appreciate it, guys. Make sure you do the like and subscribe if you haven't already. That would be really cool. And if you just want to hang out, not listen, and just chat amongst yourselves, I don't really care. Just pretend you're listening to me. Oh, dear. Washington is the 18th largest state with an area of 71,300 square miles, which for us Kiwis is 184,000 kilometres, and the 13th most populous state with more than 7.7 million people. So the state of Washington has more people in it than the whole of New Zealand. Hi, Queen Bella. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while in here. The majority of Washington's residents live in the Seattle metropolitan area, the center of transportation, business, and industry on Puget Sound. I don't even know how to say that. An inlet of the Pacific Ocean consisting of numerous islands, deep fjords, and bays carved out by glaciers. Washington is the second most populous state on the West Coast and in the western United States. So it's got more people in it than New Zealand, which I think is crazy. So I should be showing you a map. Oh, you keep missing my lives? Well, you made it this time. It would be good if you can stick around for a little while. New Zealand is toasted, laugh out. No, I'm not toasted today. A little bit blur because of my mouth infection, but no, not toasted. I don't drink or anything, so I'm a good girl. All right, so if you don't know where the state of Washington is, it's up here, right in this corner up here, above Oregon, actually, that we did a few days ago. I want to start, and we're going to have a bit of a trigger warning because this involves a young child that we're going to look into. This is from the charlieproject.org. So this is Oakley Lynn Carlson. No clue why Shauna was added. What the hell? What are we talking about? Am I missing something? I don't know. I might have missed something. Oh, New Zealand. Oh no, I'm missing something. I don't know what you guys are on about actually. So I'm just trying to okay. Oakley Lynn Carlson. Luckily, we've got heaps of photos of this young girl. She's been missing since 2021, the 10th of February from Oakville, Washington. She's a white female. She was 6. She would be 6 now because she was born in 2016. And at the age she went missing, she was only 4. 3 feet, barely 3 feet of nothing, 50 pounds. Associated vehicle, silver 2012 Chevrolet Suburban LT with a license plate numbered BTX 3380. Caucasian female, brown hair, brown eyes. That car, we'll find out more why it's relevant, but it's pictured there. Looks a lot like your daughter. Oh, big trigger warning. I don't want this to be horrible, but it's always tough when it's young kids. So we'll go over the details of the disappearance. It's a lot of information in one go, but then we'll try and get onto another page where it breaks it down a little bit so that it's a bit easier to manage and understand because, it's got to get in here. So the last confirmed sighting of Oakley was in Oakville, funnily enough, Washington on February 10th, 2021. At the time of her disappearance, she lived with her parents, Andrew and Jordan, and their siblings. So Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers. Her parents did not report her missing. And how often have we seen this story in the last few cases and in that I've been watching or listening to where the parents didn't report her missing? Red flag, just saying. Max, she's 31 now. That's cool. Lisa, my phone adds words. Apologies. I added her name to the comment about live chat. Oh. Lisa, don't you love when computers think they know you better than yourself, right? Yeah. So a school principal called Jessica Swift, whose daughter is friends with the young missing girl's sister, was the one who reported her disappearance. There was a fire at the Carlson family's residence in November 2021, which damaged their home. Curiously, the parents did not call the fire department for assistance. They said they weren't able to find their phones. Second red flag, extreme red flag. That's odd as. I hope Deb does show up. Oh, she might be at an auction. I wish we could help her more, for sure. After the fire on November 10th, the principal came over to offer assistance and stayed for about 45 minutes. She noticed that Oakley wasn't there, which she found odd. So she asked the parents, Andrew and Jordan, about it and was told that Oakley was being punished and had been confined to her room, which is really odd because the house just burnt down. 2 weeks later, the principal visited again to drop off some supplies, staying for about 5 minutes. She didn't see Oakley this time either. On December 4th, Oakley's sister came to the principal's house for a sleepover with her young child, and the principal asked her questions about Oakley. Her sister became upset and said, "Oakley is no more." Swift asked her again where Oakley was, and her sister said Oakley had gone to live with her previous foster parents. Oh, yeah. If you can't find your phone, you go to a neighbor. It's not that hard. I know. It makes no sense. No sense at all. The next day, the principal, Swift, contacted the police and asked them to do a welfare check on Oakley. The police went to the Turnwater Washington hotel that Oakley's family was staying at in the aftermath of the fire, and she wasn't there. Okay, see you soon, Doug. Andrew said she was with his parents, but couldn't provide any contact information for them. The police later reached out to Andrew's father, who said he hadn't seen Oakley since Christmas. When investigators told Andrew that Oakley was not with his parents, Andrew didn't appear to be surprised. Jordan was uncooperative and refused to answer questions. So we've got red flags going everywhere at this point for this young 5-year-old girl. When the police went over to Oakley's home in Oakville, they found no sign of the girl or any evidence that she'd been living there recently. All the other children had bedrooms, but there was no bedroom for her, and none of her clothes or toys were at the home either. When interviewed, Oakley's siblings said they'd been instructed or told by their mum not to talk about her. And her sister said that Jordan told her Oakley had gone into the woods and had been eaten by wolves. Who the hell tells that to the siblings of a missing kid? That's real disturbing. The child's younger brother remembered Jordan beating Oakley with a belt and confining her to a closet, and said he had been worried that his sister would starve. He mentioned the fire and said when it happened, everyone got out of the house except Oakley. Welcome back, Amelia. This is just sounding more and more awful as we go through it. Photos of the parents and of their car, a silver 2012 Chevrolet Suburban LT with the license plate number BTX3380, are posted with the case summary. After Oakley's disappearance was discovered, they were arrested on suspicion of manslaughter, but not ultimately charged. Instead, they were charged with second-degree abandonment of a dependent person. The dependent person in this case was not Oakley, but was her 6-year-old sister. The charge was because the parents had allegedly failed to give their 6-year-old daughter her prescription medication for over a year. She was prescribed the medication for a serious medical condition that can cause physical impairment and eventual death if left untreated. So this is really disturbing. And you're right, Max. Who tells them about wolves eating their sister? Because these are young kids. Yeah. So they obviously have proof of neglect in the family, being that they were arrested for not giving this kid the medication it needed for a whole year. Not charged though, but it goes to show what sort of environment these kids were living in at the time. Jordan and Andrew were later also charged with 2 counts of child endangerment with a controlled substance for exposing their children to I can't say that on here. I'll get demonetized. So that was really close. Both of Oakley's siblings had extremely high levels of the substance in their bodies, meaning they were either exposed to it or ingested it, which is extremely worrying. Extremely worrying. I don't know much about it. I don't know how much, like, you'd have to smoke around children, right, for them to have the high levels in their system that they had, because I don't know much about it. Yeah, but they say it could be either from ingesting it or being around it. Ingesting it, there would have to be a lot. Don't tempt me, Max. I don't want to say it. I did have this monetized for ads, but I might have to just turn those off and say it. Sad. In March 2022, Andrews pleaded guilty to the charges against him. He has no prior criminal history. He was sentenced to 12 months in prison and will be eligible for release in August 2022. So probably out now. Here, and people can't smoking. Yeah, we can't smoke cigarettes in cars with kids anymore. That was a long time ago. I'd like to go even over 10 years ago when that was made, which I think is fantastic. Jordan pleaded guilty to the same charges in April. She was sentenced to 20 months in prison. In January 2023, after her release, she was arrested and charged with fraud and identity theft. These charges are unrelated to Oakley's disappearance and concern alleged fraudulent banking activity with multiple victims. Wow, these people can do a lot of shit, really. It's Illinois. So here in Illinois, so you've got to be better than that. Here in Illinois, people can't smoke. Yeah, that's cool. Or playgrounds. Here it's, you can't smoke near playgrounds. You can't smoke near schools. Can't smoke in the car. Yeah, can't smoke in pubs. There's a lot of places we can't smoke in New Zealand. That's for sure. In Kansas, you can do just about anything and get away with it. Nice. Beer, we need Jeff and True here. Yeah, it'd be nice if more of the Dad's Gone Live crew came over. I really hope they come for the trivia night tonight, which, look, guys, I don't know how that's going to go, by the way. It'd be really nice of them to come. As I said, I was just doing it in a way for Jacob because he feels so guilty when he can't come live, and I wanted him to just have like a guilt-free night off with his family, and I could just, sort of hold the fort for him. That's what I was kind of just thinking of, providing a place for everyone to go and talk and chat and hang out. And then I thought, why not just up it to trivia, which I know nothing about, and do that. So we'll see how it goes. But true crime's not everybody's thing, listening to me waffle on for hours is not everybody's cup of tea. And that's okay. It's your cup of tea. Jordan and Andrew have not been cooperative with the investigation into their daughter's disappearance. They said they'd last seen their daughter on November 30th, 2021, but wouldn't say what had happened to her or where she was. Oakley had been raised by our foster family from the age of 7 months, as her parents both of them had substance abuse problems. She was returned to her biological parents in 2019, a week before her 3rd birthday. Her former foster parents have been active in the search for her and said they had previously raised concerns about her safety in the parents' care. An extensive search of the 300-acre property where Oakley lived with their family showed no indication of her whereabouts, but police did find blood on the front door on the home and blood on the blinds, which is, extremely shocking. Police believe it is likely the child is dead, but the investigation is still ongoing and no charges have been filed against anyone in Oakley's disappearance. So we will look at some more of that in a minute. You're lucky, Bear. I hate blue states. Can't wait to move to Texas. No politics in the room. Illinois, you can smoke inside of any public space or within 15 feet of the entrance. Wow. You'll be here tonight, Max? Oh, I'm glad. Lisa, can't smoke in bars. Kind of kills it. Kind of go together like Jack and Coke. It did, like, for the first couple of years, to be honest, it peed me off. Like that I had to go outside for a smoke at a bar. But now it's so normal, and most bars provide like smokers places outside with tables and shit you can go on and that. So it's not such a big deal anymore. So 6 cents, Amelia, I'll be here for trivia. I'm not any good, but I'm in for a laugh. Awesome. Tonight, Shauna, I think New Zealand time, it's about 4:30. I don't know what time it is anywhere else. And no, Max, behave yourself. No strip poker. That's naughty. Look, see, she agrees. You're naughty. You're rat bags. You and Bear, bunch of rat bags. Yeah, so I don't even know, like, the rules of trivia. So if anyone can think of the rules of how I'm going to do it, I have no idea. I've got the trivia questions. That's easy. You can just Google that shit. But how we're going to run it and that, yeah, I don't know. Hi, Autumn. Good to see you. Thanks for being there in the background. So let's go. I think this one I wanted to go on with next. This is a timeline of events. This is king5.com in the search for 5-year-old Oakley Carlson. The Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office is asking anyone who saw 5-year-old Oakley Carlson over the past year to come forward. Where is Oakley Carlson? That is the question investigators in Grays Harbor County have been trying to answer since the 5-year-old was reported missing in early December. Detectives believe the circumstances surrounding the child's disappearance are suspicious and criminal in nature. Law enforcement was first alerted to Oakley's disappearance after the principal of Oakville Elementary School, and that was Swift, called the Grays Harbor County Sheriff's Office saying she was concerned for the 5-year-old's safety. Deputies arrested Oakley's parents, identified as Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers, in December 21. They were charged with endangering another one of their children by withholding medication. Investigators searched the family's property for 7 days looking for Oakley, but found nothing. Grays Harbor County Undersheriff Brad Johansson said investigators believe Oakley was last seen alive on February 10th, 2021. Oakley's parents claim they last saw her on November 30. There's places to call if you have seen her. I'll put those in the description box below. Below is a timeline of events surrounding Oakley's disappearance put together from court documents. So we'll take a look at that. Sweet talking. Yes, patios were just coming around. Then the past 3 years happened and the idea exploded. Yeah, where are you from? Southern Ohio? Nice. If you could all go put in the comments where you're from, that would be really cool. August 2017, Oakley is sent to live with foster parents Eric and Jamie Hiles. Oakley's foster mum told King 5 there were multiple red flags while the 5-year-old was in their care. It is a YouTube video, so I'm not going to play it because I'll get copyright, but the information will be in the description box below if you want to go. All the source links, all ways to donate, ways to find other like websites and Facebook pages of ours are all in the description box below. Sweet, my mum was born in Kentucky and lived in Crescent, Pennsylvania for 10 years. Shauna, South Central Illinois. Nice. So, October 2019, Jamie Jo Hiles, that's the foster mum, said the state contacted her and her husband that Oakley was going to be placed back into her parents' care. November the same year, Oakley is returned to her biological parents, Andrew Carlson and Jordan Bowers. It's November. December 25th, 2020. Oakley goes to her grandparents' home for Christmas with her family. During the investigation, Oakley's grandmother told police that Oakley didn't look well. According to court documents, Oakley's grandmother told police Oakley had dark circles under her eyes, pale skin, and she had scratches or sores over her face. Very sad. Oakley's grandma called CPS after seeing Oakley, but never heard anything about it after that time. Court documents say Oakley's grandma contacted CPS regarding Oakley made great waves within the family, and Oakley's parents have not spoken to or seen the grandparents since then. That's a real tough one. Everyone says, if you see something, report something, especially where children are involved. But it can make great rifts in the family if it's a family member that you're concerned about. And some people don't call CPS when they are concerned about their family members, children in their family because of the rift that it might make, which I think is quite sad. But it happens. February 10th, 2021, Oakley was last seen alive by someone who was associated with the family. Investigators previously believed Oakley was last seen on July 27th, but obviously someone here is saying February 10th. November 6, 2021, Andrew Carlson calls dispatch just before 5 p.m. to report a fire at the family home earlier in the day. He told dispatchers his daughter used a cigarette lighter and caught the couch on fire and said he put the fire out himself. He said a response wasn't needed but wanted to report the fire. Very interesting. Bowers had told others Oakley had started the fire and that she and her husband fought the fire for about 4 hours, court documents say. Okay, one thing, it says he put the fire out. That's why he didn't need to contact anyone. But it's saying that they told people that they fought it for 4 hours. That's not a little fire that you can just put out. And fire investigators later confirmed that there was fire at the home, but said they believed the fire started from the microwave on the kitchen counter. It's all sounding a bit too much. Doug says, I uploaded a short video today of the army base near me. It's a huge base. Have we got a mod in the room that can drop Doug's channel again? I did over 35 trips to Lincoln, Nebraska, and saw a sign just before hitting. I don't know. Don't know. CPS does not have the best track record countrywide. Yeah, you're right. Queen, you're supposed to be able to report anonymously, but that doesn't always work. Hi, Nicole. Good to see you. Yeah. So it is a tough call to call CPS, but if you really are concerned about children, even though they have a bad track record, you still got to do it. November 10th, 2021, Oakville Elementary School Principal Jessica Swift went to Oakley's home to bring the family supplies after the fire and stayed at the house for 45 minutes. When Swift asked about Oakley, her parents told Swift that Oakley was in her room. November 24th, Swift went back to Oakley's home to drop off more supplies. Swift told police she saw the other 3 children, but not Oakley, and left about 5 minutes later. December 4th, Oakley's 6-year-old sibling goes to Swift's home for a play date and sleepover. When Swift asked about Oakley, the sibling got upset and said, Oakley is no more, according to court documents. When Swift asked about Oakley again, the sibling said Oakley went to live with her foster parents that she lived with before. Deputies later confirmed to Swift that Oakley was no longer in foster care. So why were these kids, young kids, being told this information? December 5, 2021, the principal, Swift, asked Oakley's sibling if Oakley lived with them and was told no. The sibling then told Swift that Oakley was living with her former foster parents. Swift contacted the sheriff's office saying she was concerned for Oakley's safety and requested a welfare check. Good on this principal for following it up and keeping it going right. Thank you, Autumn. Are you doing things, Max? Oh, Max. That's so nice of you. I can't see it on one screen, so I have to jump over to another screen, but thank you so much. Thanks for subbing up to Bear. That's awesome, guys. Okay, on December 6, 2021, hold the phone. Hold the phone. The Tumwater Police Department conducted a welfare check at the hotel that the Oakley's family was staying at after the fire. Responding officers said Oakley was not at the hotel. Hang on. Andrew Carlson, the dad, told officers Oakley was with his parents, but said he didn't know his father's phone number and could not remember the address of his father's home. I have no words for that. I don't. Officers reached out to Andrew's father, who said he had not seen Oakley since December 2020. Officers reported that Andrew Carlson did not seem surprised that Oakley wasn't with his parents. Officers spoke with the mum, and she became uncooperative and refused to answer further questions and went back into the hotel room. After officers left the hotel, the dad, Andrew, called dispatch to report Oakley missing. There is just like red flag after red flag after red flag. These people are dumb as shit. I've got to say, they're not any good at this. Officers went to the family's home after they left the hotel. After arriving at the family home, law enforcement drafted a search warrant for the residence that was approved. During a search of the family's home, toys and clothing were located for all of the children except Oakley. Blood was found on the blinds and the front door, as well as a handprint on the wall in the downstairs hallway. This is such trigger warning, guys. It's not nice. When Oakley's parents were questioned another time by law enforcement, Bowers, the mum, became uncooperative and was arrested for obstructing an investigation. During questioning, the dad, Andrew Carlson, had limited information about Oakley's whereabouts and made statements to the effect of Oakley being dead or not coming back for a reunion, court documents say. The mum and dad, Andrew and Bowers, were arrested on charges of obstruction of law enforcement and first-degree manslaughter. And I've got to say it, these don't look like well people. They look like they could be suffering the effects of using. I'm not saying the word, but I'm like insinuating the word. December 7th, officials continue searching the family property. The sheriff's office posted on Facebook asking for the public's help. December 8th, 2021, this is just sad. This is just so cute. Grays Harbor Office, Sheriff's Office detectives, Washington State Patrol troopers, and the FBI were searching the areas surrounding the family's property, which covers about 300 acres. Video taken by King 5 shows crime scene tape at the end of the home's driveway and tents set up in the yard. Investigators also appeared to be digging. Grays Harbor on December 9th announced The mum and dad faced charges of abandonment of a dependent person in the second degree after investigators discovered evidence the parents had not been providing medication prescribed to their other daughter for 15 months. The medication is necessary for the 6-year-old's health, and going without it puts her at risk of physical impairment, which could eventually result in death, investigators said. Oakley's parents are no longer being held on the charge of first-degree manslaughter. Johansson said the ground search of the family home and property was extensive, and the sheriff's office also brought in divers and aircrafts. Hey, Denise. It's the word drugs, is it? They are geekers big time. They don't look well at all. Well, no, I don't think that word is, but I keep going to say the METH word, and I don't know if that's. Hey, Denise, good to see you. Yeah, I don't know. I might just monetize it. Who knows? So these police are going all out, and it seems it was extensive because they're bringing in divers and aircraft as well. Hi, Jenny's Books and Vlogs. Good to see you. Haven't seen you for a while. So welcome. On December 12th, a Change.org petition pushing for new laws protecting foster children hits 2,000 online signatures. The petition called for a law passed that would create a 5-point system of support to check in on children who are returning to families after exiting the foster care system, and to mandate long-term drug testing for families who are reunified with their children. Yes, I think that would have been a great thing to have. December 13, 2021, Johansson told King 5 detectives are still working on the case, but investigators finished searching the family house and property. December 15th, Oakley's parents, whom officers say helped with the investigation, released the following statement. Hold on. Just give me a minute. Corn dogs. That's an American thing to make, Doug. Denise, you took a week trip to see your son and grandkids. I'm so happy for you. I'm so glad. It's good for you to get away. Yeah, bring us all some corn dogs. Do I sound American? I'm trying, but I don't think I'm pulling it off. All right, hang on. Coffee. This is the most talking I do like within a 2-week period. It's just on one of these live streams, I tell you, my poor mouth. Okay, this is the statement from Oakley's grandparents. The Carlson family have been and continue to be fully cooperating with this investigation. Our only objective is to find our granddaughter Oakley. We're praying that Oakley will be found soon, and also for the multitude of good people working around the clock to make that happen. We ask that media respect our privacy during this very difficult time, and we do not wish to make any further statement for now. Thank you. December 17th, the Oakley's law petition ends. It got about 7,000. You love listening to me? Thank you. That's a nice thing to say. That's awesome. Rep. Mike Chapman of the 24th Legislative District, Oakley's district, gave the following statement to King 5. I met with Rep. Tana Sen and staff from the Washington State Department of Children, Youth and Families today to discuss policy and budget options. We should have a better scope of solutions when we meet in January. December 30th. Thousand Andrew, mum and dad appeared in court for allegedly not providing medication to the 6-year-old sibling for 15 months, which is necessary for the child's health. I hope that child is okay, like going without that medication for that long. And we've been told about how important it is for the child. So I hope they're all right. The County Superior Court judge found probable cause for 1 count of abandonment of a dependent person in the second degree against both the mum and dad. Bail was set at $150,000. Bowers and Carlson are expected back in court, and we knew that in 2022 January. Now, I've got to say, for the people in America, where most of you are from, to be honest, in New Zealand, we don't have the same bail system. We don't have amounts of bail. So you either get it or you don't, and there can be conditions on them. So when an offender goes to court, the police will either oppose bail or not. If they oppose bail, they will tell the judge why they oppose bail, and the judge makes the decision on whether bail is granted with or without certain conditions, or whether bail was denied and they're held in custody. Some conditions that bail can be granted could be they're not allowed to drink while out, they're not allowed to associate with people involved in the case or witnesses, they could have ankle monitor on, and curfews and things like that. So we don't have this money system in New Zealand, and it really bugs me the way it works in your country, to be honest. And it doesn't sound fair a lot of the time, or right the way it happens. But no, we don't have any amounts. There's no amounts. Money is not an issue. We don't use money at all in the New Zealand justice system. The abandonment charges are unrelated to the investigation into the disappearance of Oakley, although Chief Deputy Jason Walker alleged during Thursday's hearing that Bowers and Carlson clearly know what happened to the 5-year-old child, and they're not saying anything. Before Thursday's court hearing, demonstrators gathered outside the courthouse demanding justice for Oakley. January 10th, 2022, Andrew Carlson appeared before the Superior Court judge and entered a not guilty plea on abandonment charges related to another child. Jordan, the mum, was scheduled to be arraigned on the Monday. He set a trial date, the judge did, of April 19th, 2022. The trial is scheduled to last 4 days. They joined the cases, so both parents will be on trial at the same time. The judge previously found probable cause for one count of abandonment of a dependent person in the second degree against both of them. The charge is a Class C felony punishable of up to 5 years in prison. Bail was set at $150,000. February, they were charged with 2 counts of endangerment with a controlled substance in addition to the 1 count of abandonment. The endangerment came after investigators found they were not providing Oakley's sibling with the medication. Andrew Carlson pleaded guilty to 2 counts of endangerment with a controlled substance Monday morning on March 14th, but they were not related to Oakley. Endangerment with a controlled substance is a Class B felony with a maximum punishment of 10 years and or $20,000 fine. However, judge said the expected sentences in the dad's case is 6 to 12 months for each count due to his plea agreement. The state is expected to recommend a sentence at the top of the standard range. His sentencing was scheduled for March 28th. Bowers also appeared briefly in court that Monday morning for a pre-trial hearing, but her hearing was rescheduled to March 21st. Bowers is charged with 2 counts of endangerment with a controlled substance in addition to 1 count of abandonment. She pleaded not guilty to all the charges as well. Look at all these members. I know, it's max. That's how it is here. They go in front of a judge and then they either pay or sit until someone bonds them out. Yeah, I know that, but it's just not the way it happens here. More states are adopting new bail system guidelines. Oh, that's interesting. It's not the way it used to be. Autumn Falls, these members, yeah. I've got a couple of rat bags in the room. Might be Max, might be one of them. Yeah, these parents sound terrible. They surely do. So all up, Andrew was sentenced to 12 months in prison for 2 counts of endangerment with a controlled substance for exposing children to drugs. He had no previous criminal history, and he was eligible for early release as soon as August 22. Under the endangerment charges, Andrew Carlson was accused of knowingly or intentionally permitting 2 of his dependent children to be exposed to, ingest, inhale, or have contact with that meth. According to documents, Oakley's siblings had extremely high levels of it in their systems, suggesting they had either been exposed or have ingested it. In addition to 12 months in prison, the judge said Andrew cannot consume controlled substances, including Mary Jane, without a valid prescription. He must also obtain a chemical dependency evaluation, follow up with any treatment recommended by the courts. And she said to him, as long as, if you don't get there, there is simply no hope of appearing before me again. April 8th, the mum pleaded guilty to 2 counts of endangerment with a controlled substance as part of a plea agreement. Sentencing date of April 22nd was set. Spanish soup. I don't think I've ever had Spanish soup before. I know, they sound terrible. I think I've been there. Are they? Interesting. That would be really interesting to see if they do something like New Zealand where it's not a cash things. I don't get it. Rat bag. Yeah. I think that sometimes the Dad's Gone Live crew can be a bit of a bunch of rat bags sometimes. Just saying. Nah, not at all. I love you too much to tell you that. I highly dislike that woman's face. I highly dislike the woman and the guy. Okay. So on April 22, 2022, the judge sentenced Bowers, the mum, to 20 months in prison for 2 counts of child endangerment with a controlled substance. The charges which are both Class B felonies are not related to Oakley's disappearance. She chose not to give a statement in court before she was sentenced. Due to her past criminal history, she faced a longer sentence than her husband, who had no previous criminal history. While a sentence of 15 months would be commensurate with what Mr. Carlson got, it would only be 3-month difference, and that's not enough considering her additional criminal history. So in addition to 20 months in prison, she was not allowed to have unsupervised contact with non-biological children under the age of 18, or any future contact with her children will be governed by the court in the dependency matters. She said, I'm not saying Bowers can't be at a family function with there's children, but she shall not be the supervisor of those children, said the judge. There will be a responsible adult there to take care of them. Wow, that's a lot. And, if you want to go over those videos that are there, because they will be quite interesting, I'll put this in the description box, but I'm not going to get copyright strike. What awful parents. It's just awful. You doubt that would ever work. Dollars is lord around here. Who has it and who doesn't? Yeah, I agree. I think that America has had this system for a very long time, and I don't know if they would want to change it. Beard, did New Zealand call us rat bags? Oh, I did. So I wanted to just quickly have a look at newsnationnow.com, and newsnationnow.com are starting to do this segment there where they actually, I think it's once a week or something, they do a cover of a cold case like this, which I thought is really, really cool. So I'm going to play you a little bit of their video here, but hopefully not enough to get in trouble. But let's Have a listen. And I realized that you're not even looking at this because I haven't shared it with you. So maybe I should do that because that would make more sense, right? This is lovely. This is really lovely.
Laugh, so she was always just acting silly or doing things to make us laugh. And
Jamie Jo Hiles was Oakley's foster mother. She and her husband Eric had Oakley with them from the age of 7 months until just before her 3rd birthday.
Oakley, what are you eating? Pie?
Pie.
Dance recitals, beaches, trick-or-treat.
Oh, that's so sweet. You can't hear it, really? Okay, I'll try and have a look. Oh, I'm glad. Is rat bag a term young in use? I don't know. Oh, really? A rat bag, just, I suppose a young kid I could call a rat bag if he was mischievous. I think it's just like mischievous. Oh, you can hear it? Okay, cool.
Creating a normal, happy home.
It was just such a good bond. I felt like we were just such a good family. Like we felt like a nuclear family.
Then that bond was horribly broken when the state ordered that Oakley be reunified with her birth parents in 2019.
That must be extremely hard for the foster parents, knowing that they had to give this wee young'un back. And they had red flags with the parents as well. I think they knew some things were going on. So it must have been extremely hard for them to give Oakley back and then to hear what happened.
But now, over 2 years later, Oakley is missing, not seen since February of last year. Her biological parents are behind bars in a Montesano, Washington jail.
Abandonment of a dependent child, reckless endangerment with drugs.
The reckless endangerment charge is over withholding necessary medication meant for one of their other children. Sheriff's Deputy Kevin Schrader is part of a team of investigators looking for Oakley and looking into what may have happened to her.
I think if I pause this every so often and talk about it, it comes under fair use. So it looks like the cops are definitely looking.
You know, we were first aware of it in December 2021 when a family friend contacted us and they were concerned about, they'd been to the location several times and had not seen Oakley, but have seen the other siblings that were there.
This was after a November 2021 house fire at the home where Oakley lived with her biological parents, Jordan Bauer.
So it's saying family friend here was the one that reported Oakley missing after seeing the family but not seeing Oakley, but it was the school principal.
And Andrew Carlson and her 3 siblings in Oakville, Washington. It was then that Oakville school principal Jessica Swift noticed something was amiss.
Jordan had let us know that there was a fire, and so I'd gone out to check on them and offer support and drop off supplies from the school right after their fire. And I saw all the other kids running around and playing, and I didn't see Oakley. And I thought it was a little odd, and I asked where she was, and they told me that she was in her room in timeout.
Yeah, so it definitely was the forgotten the word principal.
Then a few weeks later, another visit and no sign of the little girl. It was only when one of Oakley's siblings, a friend of Swift's daughter, was at the Swift's house.
On a play date with my daughter, with Oakley's sister, I asked questions about Oakley. It came out over the course of those questions that Oakley wasn't living with them anymore.
How amazing that, thank goodness for the principal. If it wasn't for her, it maybe that these guys would have got away with it and the rest of the children wouldn't get looked into. They wouldn't have found out that they were neglecting the rest of the kids. Yeah, so very, very sad. But at least they're looking into it now, and all we can hope is that they... Yeah. Jenny, Nicole, thank you for gifting a membership. That's awesome. And Jenny got one. That's awesome, guys. You guys rock. So that was the only story as such, but I did want to go over a couple of more things about this anyway. So let me... Okay. So this here is called the Washington Association of Sheriffs... Start again. Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. Now, this is an amazing website. You can go and put in the person's names and all these other stuff and bring up missing persons. You've got why this thing is put together, how it was put together, programs and services, resources, training opportunities, everything about the jails in Washington, missing persons information, crime statistics, sex offender information, all that sort of information is on here. And this is waspc.org. Interesting. I can't... so in the mid 2000s, where did I put it? Come back. About WASP-PC is an acronym for the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs. This association was founded in 1963. The mission of the Washington Association of Sheriffs and Police Chiefs is to lead collaboration among law enforcement executives to enhance public safety. I just think it's a great place for everyone to go in the Washington state. It looks like it has heaps of resources. Did it not turn Denise green? Don't worry. If you stick around long enough, Denise, you'll get green. Oh, but you didn't have gift set. Now you do. Just wait till next time. You'll be fine. You'll get it. Okay, so this next place I wanted to look at, hopefully you can see it now, is wsp.wa.gov. So this is the Washington State Patrol Missing and Identified Persons Unit, which is pretty cool. It says they will provide a poster with a photo for an active missing adult only when requested by a family member or legal guardian or law enforcement agency handling the investigation. So basically, they've got photos of all the adult missing persons in Washington State, which, by the way, there's a few of them. And I thought we'd actually just click on a few. I don't know about going randomly, but I thought we could click on a few and have a look. So this is Rachel Lee Anderson, missing since 2010. She is 40 at the age of going missing, a Caucasian female, missing from Idaho. ID, Moscow, Idaho. Which is weird because I thought this was Washington State. Rachel was last seen, I should say, in the Moscow, Idaho area. If you're in true crime, you know something else just happened in the Moscow, Idaho area, right? Gregory Bacon. He is a 66-year-old when he went missing, white male, went missing in 2013. He was 195 pounds, 6 foot, blue eyes, brown hair. He is missing from Edmonds. If you have information, you can get hold of the agency down here. I wish that every state had this sort of thing, for sure. Stephen Billman. Missing since January 1st, 2014. White male, missing 26 he was. missing from Rochester. 140 pounds, 5'8", blue eyes, brown hair. A good photo. It doesn't put a lot on these, but I think, you know, they put just enough info, right? Edith Clever. She went missing from the Renton area in Washington. She is American Indian. She went missing 47. She was 5'4", 150 pounds, brown eyes and black hair. And it's the Renton Police Department. They really do. Each state needs something like this for sure. I've been relying on the Charlie Project a lot. So we'll do a couple more, and then we're going to have a chat about tonight and how our trivia night's going to go. Kelsey Collins went missing in May 2009. She's a white / African American, aged 18. She was 5'6", 155 pounds, green eyes, brown hair. Carla Croft Payne, pretty young lady, missing 2010. She would have been 23 and went missing from Napavine, Washington, 5'9", 131 pounds, blue eyes and brown hair. So I'm going to put the site, obviously, in the description box with everybody else, everything else, I should say, and you could go there and have a look if you needed to. Good evening, Burden of Proof. Yes, we are. Have a great night. Thank you so much for coming along. That's awesome. Excuse me, I have like a nose itch. Denise says everyone in 25 people go missing every hour was the new calculated sensor. Oh, wow. So, Raymond Denault, missing since 2019, male, white, age 38, 6'1", 195 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair. If someone could put Burden of Proof's link in the description or in the chat, that would be really cool. She is a great true crime channel. She does latest cases coming up, what's in the news, and she's on every single day without fail. She does great work, so please check her out. Burden of Proof, we looked into the disappearance of 5-year-old Oakley Lynn Carlson. If you go back, a beautiful young lady. Should be able to see her on screen now. Yeah, very, very sad. So a couple more of these, and then, yeah, we'll talk about our trivia night tonight. Carol Ferguson, who's going to come up somewhere. No, she doesn't want to. Wesley Firth. He's 19, white male from Vancouver, Washington, 6 foot, 145 pounds, blue eyes, brown hair. It's just a shame that there's not a little bit more detail on these, just to give a little bit more information about what could have possibly happened, or areas that people could look, or things like that. I mean, it's really good that they've got this, but it could be looked into and just added to a little bit more. Well, that's what I think anyway. Gwen does missing cases from Washington. I don't know who Gwen is. Okay, so if you've arrived late, is she one of the little ones you followed up on? Oh, it's such a sad story. Those parents were just bloody awful. And there was just red flags everywhere. Some of the stuff they'd done to those kids was just awful. So, yeah, we covered her case. And then it's not a long one because I'm back on tonight. Now, some of you may know, I'm going to go over it again. I've got a friend called Jared who runs a scanner. He's a channel and he chases scanners, but he also gives out a lot of stuff to the homeless as well. And he is having a night off tonight, and he always feels guilty about doing this. So I thought, well, okay, so he doesn't feel guilty about having a night off. I'll play one of his restreams on my channel tonight in the time that he's usually on, but I have to put it in silent so I don't get copyright. But for some noise, let's play some trivia. So I thought we'd do some trivia night at the same time. Now, I've got the question for it, so that's not the problem. The thing is, I don't know how to run a trivia night. I don't know rules about trivia either. Like, do I just pick a person randomly in the chat and go, hey, what you can start, what subject would you like to go? And then if they win, do they get another go? Or if they lose, then they say or nominate someone else. Is that how we're going to do it? I don't know. But I'd really love you to go there. Probably no Googling. No Googling should be in the... I'm going to write this down because I'm going to forget. No Googling. If you don't know the answer, you don't know. Yeah, I guess that's how it's going to go. New Zealand, I'm sorry about the other night. Went to do 100 US, but check next day. It's like New Zealand. Yeah, don't worry about it, Max, honey. Hi, Denise. Yeah, I'm glad she actually went to have a relaxing vacation. Definitely. Strap trivia. No, Max. Yeah, okay, first to answer correctly. So good to see you, Deb. We were hoping you would show up. We have all been concerned about you. So I'm glad you came in. We're kind of at the end, but we're just having a bit of chat. Yeah, okay, so maybe ask a question, and then it's the first person in chat that gets it right, and then that person then gets a question. Yeah, okay, I think I've kind of got it. I believe the person who gets the answer right picks the next question. Yeah, that sounds about right, doesn't it? You read the question, we guess, first one gets it. It'll be fine. It'll be fine. I'm hoping it will be lots of fun. I've reviewed some of the questions, which I found by Googling, obviously. And some of them look like, good fun. So I think it's going to be good. Burden, do you want to tell them what you cover on your channel? And I'm hoping someone, if there is a mod, they could... Have we got any mods in the house? This Autumn Falls. If you could find Burden of Proofs link and put that up, that would be really cool. You just woke up? That's okay. We'll let you away with it then. Yeah, you're going to have to go rewind because I didn't want to make it like a long live today because of the mouth pain that I'm in, and talking and doesn't always help. But then, and we've got tonight to go as well. You almost banned Burden instead of going to the channel. That's all right. I would have forgiven you. It happens sometimes, for sure. Yeah, Burden, do you want to tell them what you do on your channel? Because you go live. This lady goes live for about 4 or 5 hours a day, covering the latest cases that are coming out, I think, Burden. And she has a small following and a real loyal group of people that follow her, which I tend to sit on her live sometimes for hours on end and just listen to her while I go and do other things. She's great background for when I'm researching cases. Thank you, Autumn Falls. All right, so put a 1 beside, or type a 1 in the chat if you're going to be here tonight for the trivia. If no one has a 1 by their name, they're going to be in trouble. Not. Shauna, awesome. Denise, awesome. I did awesome explaining you. That's awesome. Deb, I saw you didn't get your tea yet, but cups should be there. We love you when you come visit. Oh, thank you, Nicole. So what time is at 4:30 New Zealand time? You'll be here, Max. Awesome. I'm loving it. So I'm sorry if you've just come in, but I'm going to end this one. But please, if you came late, go back because that Oakley story is real interesting. And I'm going to be here back in a couple of hours. And we're going to have some fun, I hope. You're about to go to bed? Well, you probably just about have enough time to go to bed, come back. 11:30 Max your time. 10:30 your time. Oh, okay. I could probably move it forward. I might have a look at it and be able to move it forward a bit. For sure. All right, guys, I'll see you later. I'll go look at the time and maybe I'll try and move it forward a bit. Go and tell your mates to meet us there and let's have some fun. Thank you, Max, for doing, the thing that you do with the green thing, the membership thing. Thank you. I'll see you in a couple of hours, guys. Exciting.